Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. It's Sunday evening and I just fancy doing another one, so here we are. Let's grab the old bottle opener. Right, it's a beer that I picked up the other day from Stan's Superstore in St Martin's, which is a local independent supermarket by me. And the brewery, so I'm not going to say it's, I mean, it's about 50 miles away, but where I live, it's a local regional brewery, if you like. That's the only way I can put it, really. It's not exactly on my doorstep, but you know, shut up, Baz. Anyway, right, what we got? We've got a beer now from Ludlow Brewing Co. Like I say, Ludlow's about 50 miles, I think, something like that from me. And we have a bottle of their Red Dawn, which is a red ale. It's coming in at 4.5% in a 500ml bottle. Like I said, picked it up from Stan's Superstore. And I think it was £2.39. That's their sort of typical label. It tends to just change, the colour tends to just change, I think, with a different beer. So you'd probably have the same label, obviously with the proper name of the beer that's in there, and it might be green, it might be blue, it might be whatever. There we go, got a red bottle cap to match the label. So I think I've said in a previous video, we'll get it open. I think I've said in a previous video, I have been to Ludlow Brewing many years ago. Enjoyed some of the beers I had there, but not really dabbled in anything of theirs since. But seeing these and having some like vouchers for this place, you know, obviously you want to pick different stuff up. And I know they do support sort of like locally sort of brewed stuff. So yeah, I thought I'd pick it up and give it a go. So there we go. Beer in a glass. It's red, surprisingly. It's got a red tinge to it, isn't it? I mean, let's do the old camera thing. Yeah, it's got a red tinge to it. There's not an awful lot of carbonation going up, but that's down to my glass. Generally, we've got about half a finger of compact, sort of just slightly, maybe slightly off white head, not pure white. But yeah, it looks as it should. I'm going to say there's a little bit of haziness in there. It's not see-through, whether that's just the colour. But yeah, we'll dive in on the nose, see what we get. Yeah. It's a big malty number. You're getting that hoppiness as well. A little bit, as I've said before, that sort of animal meat, animal feed maltiness to it. There's also maybe a little bit of a sweetness, a toffee caramel kind of thing, something along them lines. Butterscotch even, if you want to. But yeah, I mean, in all fairness, I haven't had a lot of experience with red ales, but you know, from what I remember, it smells like every other red ale I've had, and hopefully that's, you know, a good thing for the style of the beer. So without further ado, let's dive in, give Ludlow Brewing Co.'s Red Dawn Red Ale a taste. Cheers. Yeah. Quite pleasant. I mean, I don't think this glass is doing the carbonation in it any favours, but we'll get onto all the other stuff. Let's do my usual riff-raff stuff. Body is quite light. That can be a bit of a trait of these beers, even though it's got big flavours in it, or there's, you know, the idea is they have big flavours with the American hops that apparently go into these sort of styles of beers. It does give it a little bit of a lightness, if you like. So the body's, you know, lighter than what you'd expect from sort of like an ale. Carbonation is in there. Very small bubbles. I would like to see a little bit more, or feel a bit more in there. Like I say, this glass may not be helping that, so a different glass may have bulked it out a bit with a few more bubbles. But it's smooth enough, but does feel a little bit light. Taste wise, after drinking a bit now, you certainly don't really get that animal feed feel in there now. certainly not in the taste. That sort of bitterness and the hop thing are sort of worn off as the palate's adjusted. You certainly get a more sweeter beer at the front end, that's for sure. Again, like toffee, caramel, sort of butterscotch kind of feel to it, with a, you know, a nice sweetness to it. Yeah, malty, like I say, all them sweet sort of flavours. Behind that, the sweetness takes over at the front, obviously. Behind that, when that sweetness wears off a bit, you do get a nice subtle hoppy taste. For me, it's really well balanced. Pardon me. 4.5%. I mean, it's drinking like that. It doesn't feel particularly heavy. It doesn't feel particularly alcoholic. It doesn't feel, you know, particularly weak. It's drinking as it should, judging by the ABV. Yeah, I suppose it depends on your favourite style of drink. I mean, I don't mind a red ale. It's not something I would levitate to all the time, or gravitate to, if you like. Not levitate, gravitate to, though, if you like it. It's one I will certainly drink and try. For me, with the red ales I've had the odd one that I've not been keen on. I've had the odd couple that I've found pleasant, enjoyable enough. This is one of them. And this is really sort of, I think Kutch is the biggest one that I sort of really enjoyed. And this really isn't that far behind it. Yeah, an enjoyable drop. Will I drink it? I'll drink it, yeah. If somebody had it at their house, I'd certainly try it. Well, certainly drink it at their house. If I went into a pub and there wasn't a lot on, this was on, I'd certainly have one of these, I tell you. Yeah, a nice enough. And the red ale, actually, when you sit there and you taste it, you totally get the name or the style of the beer, a red ale. That red bit, if you like, is the maltiness, the butterscotch, that sort of sweeter side, if you like. The ale side, you do get the hops on the back end. It all works. It all works. It's a style that does work as well. Like I say, I've had the odd one that didn't really do it for me. But yeah, I mean, when you sit and think about it, the style works. So yeah, Ludlow Brewing Co.'s Red Dawn Red Ale coming in at 4.5%. Yeah, it's not the biggest thing that I would rush out and go and buy, but for the style, it's a decent drop. If you like that style of beer, give it a go. If you've tried it before, let me know what you think. Always good to hear your comments. Feel free to like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. I hope you've enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you again soon on another beer review. Cheers.